Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dota 2 Update for the week of August 1st, 2011. Our top news for this week... Wait! Oh my gosh. Go to Dota2.com right now. Valve has just announced the tournament we've all been waiting for, we've all been hearing about at Gamescom, but with, get this, $1 million prize money to the winner. 1 million USD. We've heard 80,000, and some people in the comments last time was like, oh psh, dude, you know what, LOL had 100,000, you Dota 2 noobs. Oh my gosh, $1 million in prize money for a game that's not even released. This is probably the biggest amount of money put into an esports tournament I've ever heard of. $1 million, and last week I was freaking out about 80,000. Wow is all I can say. Here's more info if you haven't gone to Dota2.com and pissed your pants. Dota 2 shown publicly for the first time, group stage double elimination tournament. So even if you lose one, you still can come back from the losers bracket. 16 of the world's most elite Dota 2 teams competing for $1 million. Did I say $1 million yet? I think I did, like 8 times. Live broadcasted to the world in 4 different languages: Chinese, English, German, and Russian. Go to Dota2.com now before I faint. And that's all. I was actually recording and finished recording this week's Dota 2 update, and then I saw this and I was halfway done uploading the video onto YouTube, and I was like, damn, I gotta put this in. So now back to our regular program. It's gonna be a lot more boring now, so feel free to skip it. I would not want to hear about LOL and Han being free to play and that kind of stuff, because this news, oh my god, I gotta go change my pants. Big announcements from Dota 2 competitors that could affect Dota 2 once it comes out. First, Riot Games finally releases the numbers for League of Legends, how many people play the game, and it is astronomical how many people they have playing that game. Also, S2 Games, the makers of Han this past week, has made Han free to play. Was this a retaliation move after seeing how successful LoL became? And how is this going to affect Dota 2 if Dota 2 is going to cost money? And it seems like every other week, Valve leaks Dota 2 changelogs. This week, some more were leaked. It's just really boring, and it's getting old now. You can't really decipher any sort of information on that, so I'm not going to touch on more details as we move on into the story. But if you want to take a look at them, I'm going to link them in the description box below. But just a warning, they are quite boring, and you're not going to be able to tell anything too interesting from them. Alright, now jumping into our stories from this week. Both stories are quite connected, and to understand one, you have to sort of talk about the other, so they're just going to be mushed into one kind of segment. So first of all, what came first is League of Legends reveals their player base numbers: 15 million registered players, 1.4 million daily players, and 500,000 people in-game at the same time, which is your usual peak. And those numbers are ridiculously high. I mean, wow, League of Legends has really become such a successful game. And to put that into perspective, we're gonna have to talk about our second story, which is Heroes of Newerth. Just a couple weeks ago, they announced that Heroes of Newerth has 500,000 registered accounts. Now let's compare that to League of Legends' 15 million registered accounts. And that means that League of Legends is about 30 times bigger than Heroes of Newerth. To put that into perspective, if League of Legends player base was represented by the United States, which has a population of roughly 300 some million people, and if that were the case, then Heroes of Newerth would be Puerto Rico, which is a small island nation with only a population of about 3 million, almost 4 million. So yeah, you can see just how small Heroes of Newerth is to League of Legends. I mean, if I were League of Legends, I'd be like, what? Heroes of Newerth? What is that? Like, it doesn't even matter because they're just so insignificantly small compared to League of Legends. It's almost ridiculous. Alright, so this is a perfect lead for our next story, which is Heroes of Newerth goes free to play. Many people think this is a retaliation move against League of Legends because having released their numbers, Han probably just pissed their pants at how successful League of Legends was and wanted to get in on some of the action. Either that, or they're trying to track the last few players before Dota 2 comes out and they get completely wiped off the map, being completely insignificant. First of all, being so small compared to League of Legends, and second of all, with Dota 2 just probably going to be the superior game. And unfortunately for Han, this free-to-play model is definitely too little, too late, and not going to work for Heroes of Newerth. Here's why. I've seen many free-to-play games. I've made a free-to-play account myself just to see what's going on, and every game falls under one of these categories. Number one, somebody either smurfs from a higher level, or the non-free-to-play players troll and hate so much on the free-to-play players and ruins their first or maybe second or maybe 10th gaming experience that it just turns them off so much from Heroes of Newerth that they just don't want to continue playing the game anymore. And thus free-to-play fails to get new players. And then there's the second scenario, which is more rare, and that is there's actually a good game. I mean, the new players are Dota veterans, so they know what's going on mostly. But if they're Dota veterans, they're just playing Han most likely to get ready for Dota 2. If you're a Dota veteran, I really cannot see you going completely to Han and not even going to Dota 2. So basically, they're either turning off potential new players because of the massive amount of hate from the old Han players. And again, the Han community is ridiculously vicious and hateful, and one of the most troll-filled, hate-filled communities I've ever seen in a game. Either that turns off the potential new players, or the new players they get are just Dota veterans waiting for Dota 2 and just trying out some new games because they don't want to play LoL or whatever. So unfortunately for Han, it's a lose-lose situation, it seems like. So really in the end, this free-to-play model doesn't work to attract new players in the long term. It's just a short-term gimmick to get a couple more people playing, a couple more people buying some items from the microtransaction store before Dota 2 or LoL completely just wipes them out. Before this week's update ends, I'm going to throw out a quick little thought. Should Dota 2 be worried about League of Legends and Han? I mean, now both of the main Dota genre games are free to play, and if Dota 2 is not free to play, what could that mean for the success of Dota 2? Either they have to hype it a lot if it's not free to play and convince people that it is the superior game and worth the entrance fee, or they could just like drop the nuke and go free to play. I feel like that would just wipe out Han, but maybe not League of Legends since they're quite big. However, I can still see a lot of the LoL player base moving over to Dota 2 if it was in fact free to play. And with that thought, that's it for Dota 2 update for the week of August 1st, 2011, and we're just a little bit over 2 weeks away from Gamescom happening on August 17th through the 21st. And while we wait for that, I'm gonna go play myself some Dota and Han and a little bit of LoL, and I'll see you guys next time.